jury looked at the evidence you presented, they listened to your testimony, and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees, and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character, and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Unless you are living under a rock, there's no way you haven't seen Amber Heard's very controversial interview with the Today Show. I say controversial because the Aquaman star garnered so much hate from the interview that I wish she hadn't allowed it to air at all. The onslaught of negative comments about her claims and comments about the verdict didn't stop, and it's just a full-on movement against her now. Things took an even worse turn after Megyn Kelly and her guest debunked everything about Amber's interview and revealed how twisted and wrong it was for her to speculate so much. So, how did they expose Amber's media stunt, and how will this affect Amber's appeal? Let's find out. The downpour of mean comments started after Amber's interview with the Today Show was released. Well, only a part of it, but it was enough to cause havoc for the actress. This is because fans think that the actress is still in denial about losing, which is why she is desperate to twist the narrative in her favor by playing the victim.
Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
Megyn Kelly was not having any of it. She and her guest destroyed every single thing about Amber's interview, starting with Amber's claim that the jury was charmed by Johnny's acting and presence. Megyn pointed out how Amber's lawyer had all the chance in the world to discredit Johnny's testimony and persuade the jury to believe their defense instead. And yet they failed so miserably.
She also had equal time to present her evidence and her defense in this trial. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the jurors were scrolling social media coverage of the trial.
The guest also emphasized how the jury was told not to scroll over social media during the trial. So Heard's claim about social media affecting her chances of winning the case was nothing but false.
As to her point about social media, other than to say that it hurts her feelings that she's getting critical coverage on social media, because there's no way that the coverage on social media reached the jurors in that box. And given that, it's entirely irrelevant, other than she doesn't like the critical coverage.
Soon enough, fans rallied behind Megyn and agreed with her statements. This fan left a comment saying, "Bravo, finally, someone who has seen the trial and why we feel the way we do. We are not happy with the narrative of Amber Heard. She had the same amount of trial time to prove her case and failed with the jury and the people watching." Another fan pointed out how it was actually Amber's team who introduced social media as evidence, saying, "People keep forgetting that it was Amber's team that introduced the social media evidence. Like WTF, now they want to cry wolf. You can't have it both ways." So far, more people are expressing their displeasure about Amber's makeup narrative, and by the looks of it, this chaos is far from over. How about you? Do you think Amber Heard is trying to twist the narrative in her favor, and will this affect her chance of winning the appeal? Let me know in the comments below.